Hey everyone, Colin Bodbyl here for IFSECglobal.com, and today I'm going to be doing a review of StarDot's NetCam SC dome camera. The exact model number I'll be reviewing today is the SDH500VN. Let's take a look at the camera now. So the first thing you can see about this camera is that it is a standard size dome camera. It is vandal proof. On the back of the camera you have this wire harness coming out that has your Ethernet jack, as well as your 12 volt DC jack, your 24 volt AC jack, and an analog output. Back to the front for a second, there are 4 security screws you'll need to remove to get inside the camera. Once inside, there's not too much to the front here. You can see it does have a varifocal lens on this unit. If we take the camera outside of the housing here, you'll see that there's also a couple of ports here that aren't hooked up to, and that is your RS-232 data port, as well as your auxiliary inputs and outputs. Alright, that's it for the camera, so now let's get techie. The SDHC500VN is vandal-proof and IP66 rated for outdoor use. It supports both H.264 and MJPEG compressions and has a constant analog video out. It does support up to 30 frames per second, but at its full resolution of 5 megapixels, it only supports 10 frames per second. It has built-in video motion as well as day-night functionality, and it can be powered by either 12 volt DC, 24 volt AC, or power over Ethernet. That's it for Techie Talk. Now, let me tell you what I like about this camera. The first thing I really liked about this camera is all the configurable settings you can get to through the web browser interface. Now I know this camera and most other IP cameras probably get used most of the time in their default settings out of the box. But if you're a real camera junkie and you like to get into the image and performance settings, this camera lets you dig really deep into them. The other thing I really liked about this camera is the constant analog output. It's extremely rare to find an IP camera on the market today that has a constant analog output, and this camera is one of them. I find it extremely useful and a big cost saving to customers who are upgrading from analog systems to IP, because it'll allow them to use things like old monitors or matrix switches or analytics encoders that they were using with their analog system, but they don't have to sacrifice the 5 megapixel image that they may want to record on an NVR. That's it for what I liked about this camera, so now let me tell you what I don't like about it. There were 2 things that I really didn't like about this camera. The first is that it's not ONVIF compliant. The second is that at its top resolution of 5 megapixels, it can only stream 10 frames per second. That's it for what I didn't like about this camera. I'll say that during day-night testing, it performed very well, though I had to tweak a lot of the internal settings to make it work exactly how I wanted it to. But like I said, that was one of the things I really liked about this camera. My name again is Colin Bodbyl, and thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. See you next time.